Suprabhatam friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Me. This is Dr. Sri Devi from Mangaluru, Karnataka, India. So I'm still left with the repotting of these succulents and bromeliads. This is kalanchi. This is a bromeliad, Pedilanthus, curly Pedilanthus. This is the normal Pedillanthus, devil's backbone. This is one more Bromeliad, and this Dischidia variegated. All these are succulents, so these will be potted in the succulent mix, whereas this is an epiphyte and it will be repotted like a Hoya. This is already putting out roots at the nodes. So this is an epiphyte. This will be put in an epiphytic potting mix. So this is donkey's tail or burrito, repotted in a cactus type of potting mix. These leaves had fallen down. They will also root, so I just kept them on the potting mix. They will root and then grow into new plants. I am not watering these plant right now because there are no roots, so if I water now the plant will rot. So once it starts putting out new branches, I will water it. This is the curly Pedilanthus variegated. This also has been put in a succulent type of potting mix. I have just stuck these cuttings into the potting mix. They should root within a week. Again, I have not watered the potting mix because I removed the leaves from this place and I pushed this into the potting mix. So when I removed the leaves from here, there was some secretion, latex was coming out. So if I pour water or if I water this potting mix, the water will go through this and will lead to rot. I don't remember the name of this plant. I will find out and flash it on the screen. This is again a succulent. The stem is very thick, fleshy. So that's why I have put it in a succulent type of mixture. Again here I have not watered the potting mix. So this is purple heart, again Tradescantia. It is one of the most easiest plants. Just take a cutting, stick it, that's it. The potting mix again is very sandy. I have not watered the plant. So this is called as the inch plant. I loved the variegation on the leaves. Lovely. I'm just going to put these cuttings into the soil. There are roots at the base. Even this has got roots, so it will root very easily. So that's it. This is a not cactus, succulent called as Crassula, and it was a rooted plant which was given. I am just keeping the plant's roots under the soil or in the potting mix. So Crassula is done. So this is Kalanchi, and this is also a rooted plant. I thought of all these options for the pot, but when I tried to check the size of the pot, the roots here, if I plant the roots inside, there is lots of space around the roots. So that means the potting mix will be more around the roots and it will retain lots of moisture. Same way this also. Around the roots there will be lots of potting mix and so lots of water. This and this are of the same size. This seems to be much better because around the roots there won't be much potting mix or the mud around it. Not only that, the draining holes, they are very large, so it will help in good drainage of the water. But when I pour water, the potting mix may also get drained. So I am just covering those drainage holes. Very loosely it has been covered with pebbles so that the potting mix does not slide out of this or leak out of these big holes. In fact, this is big enough for this stone to go out, so it's that large. So we need to obliterate these holes. So I added potting mix and now I am making place for the root, and around the root I would like this sand to be there for better drainage. So that is about Kalanchi. So next I have a Bromeliad here. I am not very sure of the name. I will remove these dry leaves. For this pot is okay. This is much better. There is not much of potting mix around the roots. So this is sitting firm in the soil, and that's about this Bromeliad. I have another Bromeliad. Okay, this size is okay. I think I can take one pot bigger. Yes. So these are the roots. These are the roots. This is actually stem. I don't know why it's feeling very hollow. These are also the roots. I'll put the stem up to this mark. This will go into the potting mix by itself. I am putting sand around the roots so that they don't rot in the rainy season. Now the succulent type of potting mix around the plant in the remaining pot. So that is done. So the next plant is this Ireline red. I have a green one. This is red. So I have put the potting mix in this. Now I will put sand, one layer, and then make place for these 3 cuttings so that the roots are covered with a layer of sand and they will not have root rot. Water will not clog around the root and they will not have root rot. that is Ireline red. Now comes this devil's backbone or Pedilanthus Green. This is also a succulent. The stem is so very fleshy. The leaves are also fleshy. I'll remove the lower leaves. Belongs to Euphorbiaceae, and the moment I removed the leaves, it has given out latex. So this is the succulent potting mix. A layer of sand for the roots or to save the roots. I'm poking these. These are succulents, so I am not using any rooting hormone like honey, etc., because the moisture in the honey, it might trigger rotting. So I'm just poking these cuttings as it is, and none of my succulents will be watered today. They will be kept dry. For 2 or 3 days they will be dry. After that I will start watering. So I fill the remaining pot with the potting mix. This grows into a shrub, but for rooting sake I have taken a smaller pot. Once these grow to a sizable height, I will repot these again. So next is these Peperomias. They already have roots at the nodes. This is again a succulent because the stem is very fleshy, leaves are also very fleshy, and they store water in it. So I am going to keep this like this. It's a coarse type of sand, so lots of pebbles are there in it. This is a Peperomia. This I found somewhere from an old pot. It was fallen in an old pot. Don't know from where it came. That's about it. So this is Pseudoranthemum. I'm going to put all these cuttings in one pot. This is a 6-inch pot, or rather 5-inch pot. I have put pebbles at the bottom. I'll fill this pot with succulent type of potting mix. A layer of sand, I'm making space for the cuttings. 1, 2, 3 and 4. My friend has been really very generous in giving the cuttings. Once these root and they grow, I will separate and put them 2 cuttings in one pot. Yes. Now what's remaining is this Uzbekia and variegated Dischidia. So I have taken big chunks of coconut husk at the base. This is for Dischidia. Dischidias are epiphytes and they would like to grow on stem bark of big trees. So this coconut coir or coconut husk, large chunks, they will mimic the tree bark. Now on that coconut husk I am going to put this mixture of this white thing is pumice stone powder. These are small coconut chips and it has got, I don't know if it is visible, the blue color here is the antifungal and a bit of vermicompost. In fact, this is the preparation for Hoya, potting mix for Hoya. Same potting mix I am using for Dischidia. So I will put it in this pot. In this there is already root development happening. It's not focusing here, yeah, at the node. I'll just remove the lowermost. So that is the root. That is the root here. I can just keep this like this simply on the potting media. It will put roots into the potting media and hold on to it, or otherwise we can push this tips. The leaf is really very thick, very thick. It's a succulent growing on tree barks. I have removed the lower leaves so that the nodes become free to put out roots. This is the lower end. If these leaves go into the potting mix, they may rot, and then the rot might spread to the stem. I had one Dischidia variegated last year. Somehow that plant caught stem rot and it succumbed to the rot. So that is Dischidia variegated. Last of the cuttings is this Uzbekia. This has to be pruned every now and then, otherwise it becomes a weed. So now these cuttings have to be put. This survives in any type of soil. There is no hard and fast rule, but I will give it a succulent type of potting mix. This is the succulent type of potting mix. Uzbekias do not like much water. They like to remain dry. So that's how they grow on, or they grow in places where there is a slope. They grow on slopes where water is not retained. Very easy plant, roots very easily. In fact, wherever it touches the ground, it gives out adventitious roots. So that is Uzbekia. So these are the other plants which I reported. Dischidia, burrito's tail. This is the variegated curly Pedilanthus, Pseudoranthemum, normal Pedilanthus or devil's backbone, then the Pilea, the Erlina, then the Uzbekia. So thanks for joining. Take care. Bye.